All right, so right out the gate, I got a confession to make. I definitely play too many video games. I'll fully admit that. And the reason I mention that is because today, for this topic of video, I'm going to be doing some honest self-reflection about my video game dependency. Because I came across today this tweet. Not that I'm much into Twitter. It was actually the only reason I heard about it. It was kind of mentioned through another video of another person I follow on YouTube, and they were covering it. And the tweet was basically from this guy who's this kind of odd fellow, sort of. Yeah, he's kind of this guy who's I think he's a bit of a tanky, which for anybody out there who doesn't know is sort of like somebody larps around as like a modern day member of like the Soviet Union or like the proto-Soviet Union, where they like would say that they're on paper a very left-wing person and radical, like for radical revolution, but in actuality they're just like a kind of a larping dork. I'm a very left-wing person myself, but I think tankies are fucking ridiculous, especially because a lot of time tankies actually tend to be kind of weirdly conservative. Anyways, I'm totally going on a fucking tangent here. The point is, this weird guy on Twitter made this tweet saying that when the revolution comes along, the hypothetical Soviet revolution or whatever the fuck, new Soviet revolution or whatever the fuck, the new leftist revolution, that all video game consoles will be smashed in the revolution, that men with hammers will come and destroy these horrible consoles everywhere. Even GameCube will not be spared. Basically to like liberate people from the mind-numbing nature of the horrible, wicked ways of the video game. He also included like Marvel movies in that category as well, and just like other types of entertainment that he deemed as like vapid and population pacifying and stuff like that. And while my initial reaction to that is kind of just like a knee-jerk, like, oh, go fuck yourself, which, even when I get past the knee-jerk, I still kind of think, go fuck yourself. There is still a bit of truth to that. I kind of see where he's coming from. I mean, I can't deny that all these tools of entertainment are just that, tools. They are sort of designed to kind of keep us pacified, let's face it. That being said, I think there's a huge caveat to that, where first of all, I believe in freedom of expression and freedom of choice of entertainment, so I would never advocate for the destruction of like any sort of entertainment, even stuff that like I think is really fucking cringy. Like I cannot stand like really cutesy, like chibi anime stuff. I fucking hate it. I hate the art style of it. I hate the storylines. I hate the voice acting. Like it just it grates at me like nails on a fucking chalkboard. I think it's stupid and lame, but I would never dream of fucking taking that away from somebody. If you enjoy that shit, fucking more power to you. I think it's dumb. I think it's lame, but you know what? You can fucking think my hobbies are dumb and lame, which I'm sure some of them you might even have valid criticisms of, which I'm going into right now, actually. I'm trying to criticize myself with my video game hobbies, basically. So again, I would never take that entertainment source from anybody. And also, tied to that, I don't think that these things in a vacuum are bad at all. I think that there's nothing wrong with playing any video games necessarily, maybe really weird fucked up ones, but like generally speaking, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. Just like there's nothing inherently wrong with, watching movies, any kind of movies, not just Marvel movies, or even tied into that, excessively reading, because there's people that could be sitting around reading vapid stuff and wasting their time with that. I mean, not like every book is fucking Moby Dick or some, great historical text that gives you insight into, the past of the human species and how that could be applied to our current day dilemmas. Like, no, there's fucking all these stupid books you can find at the freaking airport that are like trashy romance novels that are more vapid than like any video game out there, pretty much. They're useless. They're just like basically like written porn. Like they're just there to basically, typically speaking, to target, women, like as like a form of like written pornography. Like 50 Shades of Grey is the classic example, right? And I don't think that that's like somehow some better form of, wasting your time than, me playing fucking Slay the Spire for the umpteenth time in a row because I still can't beat, Act 3 or something like that. And like, yeah, I get it. It is technically a waste of time. I would argue at least my hobby takes more brain power because I'm trying to figure out like how to figure out the complexities of a rather challenging game. And that is a definitely bigger and more active use of my brain muscle than just sitting around reading smut. But again, who the fuck am I to judge? Like, I think, you should be entitled to fucking read your smut, just like you should be allowed to watch your silly, chibi anime TV shows. Like, I don't give a fucking care. Fucking, if it makes you happy, more power to you. Genuinely, I think that's a good thing if you enjoy that. Like, I just think it's stupid, but there's nothing wrong with it being stupid. Who cares? But that being said, here is where I will say that there is a problem with that. And again, this isn't just any, you know, thing that's unique to one type of entertainment specifically. It's the fact that, and why I do agree that there is a pacifying aspect to this, it's how it's utilized, I think, is the problem. Because, like I said, in a vacuum, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. But I think that the problem is that it's sort of coupled with the fact that, like, as society is getting more advanced, in quotation marks, we're getting more socially stratified. We're getting more, separated from one another socially and stuff like that. We're also getting increasingly more inundated with just like information overload, misinformation overload specifically. A lot of education systems are getting gutted and stuff like that. There's just like, and then tied to that is like entertainment. It's not that there's like any one bit of entertainment that's the problem. It's just that we're getting a glut of entertainment. We're kind of getting spoiled with entertainment. It's also just like a lot of social problems are getting worse too. That's always been a problem in history, but it feels like we're kind of like on a downswing again with like a lot of social issues, like with just like wars and stuff going on and genocides and just us being, constantly being informed of that kind of stuff. And, the economy is fucked. People are more and more unemployed. Cost of living is out of control. This, that, and the next thing. Climate change is still a thing. People don't really fucking talk about climate change. Like this, that, and the next thing. And human history has always been a fucking shit show. Maybe what's unique now is we're a little bit more informed about it. We're a lot more informed about it, unfortunately. And it's like, I think it kind of makes sense that people like myself would want to sort of numb themselves with entertainment because, it's a coping mechanism. I can't deny that. So like I said, if conditions were ideal and life wasn't such a shit show by and large, yeah, I think that there would be a healthier dynamic of relation to these sources of entertainment than there currently is for people like myself and other people out there who just find their own source of distraction. So it's not that the distraction is the problem, it's our relationship to it that's the problem. Because like I know for a fact if like I was satisfied in all these other aspects in the real world, I would have a much more moderated and healthy relationship with video games. I'd be taking them in with more moderation. It's not like video games are themselves just some magical thing that just are inherently gonna just like override like other good parts of my life in favor of them. Like no, I'm partaking in them. I'm partaking in them to fill up a void basically, and that void is just lack of meaningful connection in my life. Like I have friends in my life for sure. I've got some family and stuff like that, obviously in my life and all that, but it's just more and more. It's like I just don't get as much satisfaction a lot of times out of it. Not always. Like I do have close connections with people. There's no denying that, but it's just more the fact that like even with my friends that I'm close with, I only see them every once in a while. They've got their own lives. I've got my own life. Also, it's just like, I've got work and stuff like that, especially now that I'm busy. And it's just like, I'm drained of energy. And like the only thing that really makes me kind of have some kind of fun is like video games. Like I just don't find the outside world to be fun. I don't find it satisfying. It's kind of, this is like a whole other topic I can go into. But yeah, I'll admit it. It is because I have deficiencies in my life. And the thing is, if you took video games away from me, I would just find something else to fill that void. It's not like that's the thing that is just going to be the be-all, end-all. I would definitely find something else. I know that for a fact because, like, I've had moments where, like, I've tried to deliberately, like, go on a trip or something and get away from video games to just try and see if I could be, like, I can get away from my preoccupation with them. And then I go there and I realize, like, on a trip, and it's, like, it's fine. But I realize, like, I still just feel kind of... just unsatisfied. It's not that that I'm like letting myself be, I don't know, overly distracted by this thing. It's kind of just like, okay, so I'll go on a trip, I'll leave like my computer behind and try and be like, oh, I'm gonna be minimalistic now and just try and like enjoy the world itself. And I go out and I'm just like, bro, I'm just bored and understimulated by this world. I'm just like, well, okay, this just reminds me of just like how disinterested I am in the world at large. And you can call me arrogant for that, but I'm sorry, it's fucking true. I don't find this world very interesting. I don't find it very approachable. I don't find it very, I find it very much not at all hospitable. Um, this isn't always the case, obviously. You know, like every once in a while, I have like a moment in life that is the exception to the rule. But by and large, like, I mean, fuck. I know. It's gonna make me sound like an arrogant prick, but like, I don't find most people interesting. I just don't. Nature does not do that much for me. It doesn't. That's a whole other tangent I can go on. Is like, I do not understand people that just get so much out of nature. I don't. Like, I'll go on a walk. I'll go out in nature. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. Going out on a walk in nature and enjoying the fucking like trees and the calmness. It's nice to kind of clear one's brain out. But I'm not one of those people who gets this like deep, profound buzz from being in nature. I just don't. I've tried so many times to be that kind of person, and I'm like, it's just not fucking me. And you can say that, oh, it's because you're all fucking dopamine fucked in your head and shit like that from too much exposure, da 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 da. And it's like, honestly, I've kind of always been that way. Like, I just, unless it's like just something really, really, really amazing in nature. Like, I remember the last time I really was wowed by nature, although it was kind of in a bittersweet way, because it was also quite morbid in retrospect, is when I went on a safari in South Africa and I saw, like, a pack of lions devouring like a wildebeest, and it was like right next to me. Basically, we were in like a jeep going around, and there was this pack of wildebeests, like, sorry, a pack of lions eating a wildebeest, like literally like feet away from me. And they don't attack because we're in a jeep, and they just don't attack jeeps. But it was like just this weird surreal experience of just like both seeing just nature in its raw brutality, and also kind of that buzz you get from being like, holy shit, those lions, if they wanted to, could just turn around and devour us in a moment. It was kind of that thrill of like being on the edge of your mortality, right? You know, it's kind of a similar thing to like why I got a thrill out of like when I had a boxing tournament a couple years ago, which I lost because I'm not very good at it, but I still got a kick out of just the thrill of being like, you know, maybe my life wasn't on the line, but it kind of felt that way in the moment. It was sort of that buzz of just like, oh shit, I need to survive this thing. So, I mean, I get that. I get that rush out of being in that sort of mortal situation. So, God, this video is all over the place, like they always are. But anyways, my point is, that was the last time I was really wowed by nature. And again, it's in a bittersweet way, because like it was kind of like wow in the moment. And I kind of had that weird like, oh, it's morbid, but it's like the circle of life. But like in retrospect, I'm like, oh no, it's kind of just fucked up, actually. It is fascinating to see it. I don't regret seeing that, but it is also just kind of like a reminder of like, nature's a fucking asshole. Like, yeah, that's why I'm saying it's bittersweet. Like, it's interesting to see that, but it's like why you gotta be that way, nature? Why you gotta have like poor wildebeest running around getting eaten by packs of lions for the sake of, you know, the lion's survival and for the balance of the fucking predator prey dynamic? And all these nature cucks out there will be just like, oh, that's just the way things are. That's just the nature of nature. You just got to accept it. You know, you can't fucking call out nature because that's just the order of the world. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I can't like call out nature like I can with like a politician or something. Like, I know nature's will is beyond my control and ridicule, but still, fuck nature. Like, it's gross. It's horrible. It's horrible that like these fucking poor prey animals are put on this planet just to get their fucking asses eaten by these fucking sharp-fanged mouth predators that are just running everywhere. And people can say that like that's just natural. And it's like, okay, well, how would you feel if a fucking lion goes up to you and rips your fucking throat out and then eats you and shits you out? You wouldn't be very happy about that. You wouldn't be simping for nature then and be like, I just accept this. It's just the circle of life. Now you'd be screaming your ass off as the lion is fucking gutting you. Let's just admit it. You would. You would. Unless you're just like some super zen, super acceptant monk, okay? So, wow, I didn't know this was going to go into the territory of talking about nature and shit. But anyways, so that's kind of like, to go back to my point, that's sort of like why like one of the big reasons I found nature to be overrated. I'm just like, I think nature is just a giant orgy of violence and brutality and cruelty, like exposure to the elements without any fucking safety net of that humans have in their modern societies. You know, if you're an animal out in nature and you don't get food, you fucking starve. If you don't get shelter, you fucking freeze or burn or whatever. Like, nature is just brutal, cruel, unforgiving, but it has the veneer of a very nice like PR campaign of aesthetics. So people think nature is wonderful because nature looks nice in some ways, except for when it doesn't, when it comes to like horrible fucking flesh-eating parasites and shit like that. Or, you know, when you see animals gutting each other and fucking ripping their guts out right in front of you, then you see how brutal nature actually is. So it looks nice, though, because, oh, foxes have cute little fur, and so do dogs and stuff. And oh, trees are pretty. They have green leaves. And I'm not going to shit on trees, though. Trees are one of the only things in nature that I think are like, yeah, are pretty much unreproachable because it's just like, oh, yeah, they're basically the lungs of the planet and all they do is hang out and absorb nutrients. Trees are fine. But like the rest of the stuff is like, yeah, nature's fucking horrible. It's brutal. And then beyond that, when it's not being brutal, I'll be honest, after a while, it gets kind of boring. Like, it's okay. It's nice to go out on a walk and touch grass for a bit and kind of clear my head out. But then at a certain point, if I've done that for like, half an hour to an hour, I'm like, all right, I'm over this. Because, like, nothing's going on. It's just like, okay, it's just a bunch of fucking trees and some animals running around in them. Go out to nature the next day, just a bunch of trees and a bunch of animals running around in them. It's been the same song and dance for literally millennia at this point. Nature is just the same cycle. As much as I have a shitload of criticisms of the human species, we are the most interesting animals in nature by far. By far. And we're still, a lot of times, pretty fucking boring. But we're still, even the most boring human is a lot more interesting than most animals are. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. There are some pretty interesting animals out there. Sorry. Wow, this video totally turned into like a completely different topic than I was intending. But whatever, fuck it. That's what my videos are about. Just rambling directionlessly. I can't talk today. Directionlessly. Rambling directionlessly. Anyways, so nature, overrated to me. I also think like, and tied to that, yeah, don't really like the beach very much. I think the beach is kind of just fucking boring. Don't like it that much. I will say, like, I do like some sports in nature, so I guess there's that. I like snowboarding, but I haven't done that for ages, and it's really not that practical of a sport to do, because where the fuck is the closest mountain to go to? It's not like I can just step outside and just hop on a snowboard and go snowboarding, so that was one thing I like that's involved in the real world, so I'll give it that, but I haven't done snowboarding in ages, because it's really fucking impractical to follow. So, yeah, nature's kind of out. I've just always had a very attitude towards nature, touching grass. It's a good thing to do, but it's not something that's going to fucking fill me up with deep satisfaction in life. And then, like I said, other stuff is like, I don't find most people very interesting, so socializing is very much a mixed bag for me, so I'm not that interested in doing that. Dating, oh my god, I've gone into that plenty. I tried it again. I did try it again a couple months ago with what was at first quite mixed results, and then ended with me just being like, yeah, you know what, this is just not for me. So I've given it a not honest chance. Don't fucking like dating. That's a big meaning for a lot of people, is dating, and then in turn getting married and having kids. I have no fucking interest in getting married and having kids. So that's out for me. What is it? Finding meaning in your work. Okay, I guess I find a bit, especially because my current job is more interesting than other jobs I've done in the past. So that's something. I guess I'm getting that. That's something outside of video games in my life that gives me some kind of purpose, although I still have mixed feelings on that because, like, my job isn't super, like, it's still a job at the end of the day. It's not like something that's, like, completely my dream career if I could have any. It's a little bit closer to what I want, but it's not 100% there. So that's, yeah, maybe it's a stepping stone to something more meaningful, but whatever. And then otherwise with that, it's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, what other things are really out there? What other things involved in the real world that I could get involved with as a proper, a proper non-gamer fucking adult could do. It's like, I don't know. I started taking some classes. I guess that's something. There you go. Yeah, I'm taking a music production class because I'm like, fuck it, maybe I can start making some music. Why not? I'm trying to get back into doing art a bit more actively. That's the biggest criticism I will say to myself is, like, yes, I should definitely dedicate more of my free time to making art instead of playing video games. I will 100% take that one on the chin. But outside of, like, doing art and creative projects for myself, there ain't really fuck all that I'm really, like, that interested in doing beyond playing video games, to be honest. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll like to hang out with somebody that I'm close to in my circle. But again, that's every once in a while. People I know, they're busy. They got their own lives. And even then, I hate to fucking say this, but I just still feel like a lot of times I'll hang out with people I like. And it's like, it's nice, but it's more often than not, it just feels surface level. It feels kind of, yeah, it's weird. It's sort of this strange notion of kind of, like, the analogy I kind of came up with that it's sort of this weird uncanny thing about hanging out with people now is I still definitely appreciate the people that are in my life, but it's almost like I would say the equivalent of, like, the whole social dynamic would be if socializing, like the act of socializing itself, is kind of like having a meal, I would say that like, or going out to like, okay, oh my God, I'm really having a hard time figuring out a good metaphor for this. Okay, but let's say, okay, let me put it this way. It sort of feels like just the stuff that I do with people when I hang out with them, even people I care about, has just become very old hat. So like I can still like the person for sure, and I do, but it's just this, the activity, the stuff we talk about, it's just starting to get more and more repetitive, like a little bit redundant. It's like I would say, okay, like let's say you're going out to dinner and you're going to a restaurant and the food you're having is something that's like your favorite dish, right? For me, that would be something like some kind of Asian noodle dish. That tends to be my favorite. But I go out there, I have an Asian noodle dish, and I really enjoy it. But what if like, and I'm going out with like a friend of mine, like me and my friend, we're going out to dinner, we're going out, we're having like our favorite meal. And it's like, okay, it was nice. I had a nice, tasty dinner with good company. Then the next time we go out to dinner, it's the same dish again. And it's like, okay, it's still nice, but it's lost its novelty a bit. And then we go out again, it's the same dish again. And for some reason, it's just always like the same dish. Or maybe it's like a selection of dishes, but it just keeps being like the similar dishes again. And it's still nice company, but we're still partaking and eating the same or very similar dishes over and over again. And it doesn't matter if like the dish was fantastic the first time you had it. It's like each time you have it, it loses its novelty. And I'm kind of feeling like that's sort of, this fucking analogy sucks, but I'm just going with it anyways. But I kind of feel like that's sort of the conundrum I'm at with like people in my life. Like I like them as a person, I like their company, but I feel like the dish of our socializing has become increasingly more stagnant. It's just kind of, yeah, like we just a lot of times talk about the same things. We do the sort of the same things. It's just, it's just kind of like, even if it was like something that I enjoyed doing with these people, it's just, it's just not really crossed into a new frontier. And it's just like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like this weird catch-22. It's like, we're like on one level, it's like, yeah, I still kind of enjoy it, but it's just so numbed out now that I'm just like, yeah, it just lacks novelty. I'm trying to like struggle to remember like when's the last time I really had like a truly original social interaction with somebody. That's really what it is. That's what it really is. It's not that I have a problem with being a social person or anything like that. It's just that I have a problem with the lack of novelty with the actual acts of socializing that are available now. If that makes sense. I don't know. Fuck. To go back to the topic that I started off with this whole rant at the beginning, I have that fucking problem with video games too. I feel like I'm getting more and more like that as well, where like a lot of video games I'm coming across are just sort of like rehashes of old video games. And I still like the act of playing video games, but even they're starting to get kind of a little bit samey. Not always. There's been a nice bit of ones that have come out lately in the last like month or two that are pretty dope. But even then, it's like, yeah, there's still kind of, it's sort of a bit been there, done there. Been there, done there. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of an issue with that too. Wow, but anyways, to get back to my point is to bring back to the point with video games is yeah, I've kind of realized like, yeah, I do probably play too many video games, but I understand why I do, and I realize it's not really the video games themselves. It's just that video games are just the optimal go-to thing when I just find so much of the rest of my life just really lacking and not very interesting. And again, I'll take this that, yeah, I should force myself to be more productive on an artistic level. Fuck it, I'll use the term productive even though I don't fucking like it, because it just feels so like coated with just like fucking self-flagellating capitalist attitude shit where you're just like, yeah, I've got to fucking grind more and shit like that. I fucking hate that attitude. But yeah, I should force myself to fucking do more of this stuff and enjoy it too. Not just like force myself, but yeah, I should embrace it in a more healthy mindset instead of, honestly, that might be a big reason why I am avoiding it so much. It's like I keep just trying to whip myself and then I just want to avoid it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to fucking zonk out and enjoy myself. So I'm going to play some video games. So yeah, I'll say that. I'll take that. I should definitely moderate it. But I think that this whole notion of just like it's kind of the same issue I have a lot of times with like AA and like just any sort of approach to like kind of substance addiction criticisms and stuff where they always kind of go for the substance itself rather than like the root cause of it. You know, it's kind of like the same reason why like not every person who drinks alcohol is a fucking alcoholic. Like even people who can go out and get drunk aren't necessarily alcoholics, because it's not like alcohol has this magical property to it that makes you into a fucking alcoholic. No, it's your attitude to alcohol that does that. It's kind of the same reason with, like I said, with video games. It's not that video games are at all inherently bad. It's just, yeah, what is your relation to them? It's, you know, so like I said, that's why, like, I don't think any utopian society that would do away with these vices because, oh, look at like this big portion of people that have like a really unhealthy relationship with them. It's like, yeah, but it's not the substance or the vice or the activity that's the problem. It's, again, their fucking relation. They have something else that's missing in their life that is the problem. It's not like that thing has some magical property that makes them behave in a deviant manner or some shit like that. No, there's something else lacking. That's 100% what's always the issue. I mean, again, it's the same issue why... and it's funny, people don't actually extend this to sex in particular. Like, they will say, like the prescription to somebody who's like a sex addict isn't like, oh, you should abstain from sex. Like, never have sex again. You're a sex addict. You have an unhealthy relation to sex. Therefore, sex is bad. Stop ever having sex. Like, no, they would say you have to have a more healthy relationship with sex. But for some reason, that attitude is not, like, spread over to, like, other vices for some fucking reason. Now, obviously, like, in the case of, like, something really extreme, like, if you're, like, an extreme alcoholic, yeah, you should probably just stop drinking entirely, especially because of just the physiological aspect of it. But, I don't know, it's like... I feel like the more healthy approach would be like, well, why are you doing this? What is the root cause behind this? Like rather than just being like abstain from your all your vices of choice and make yourself just like have like a dull fucking life of minimalism, you know, just be like abstain from anything that gets you excited and that is at all like remotely addictive to you, and just be like a fucking monk. I don't think that's the goddamn solution, especially since like this life is just such a goddamn pointless, stupid slog and nothing really matters. Like, fucking enjoy yourself. Like, honestly, who really cares at the end of the fucking day? Because nothing matters. You know, at the same time, like I've kind of thought of this thing of like, I'm sort of subscribing to this notion of like empathetic nihilism. Like, yeah, nothing matters, everything is stupid, but don't be an asshole. You know, have some empathy. Try and do something bigger than yourself in life, but like, don't fucking whip yourself too much. Because, yeah, again, nothing matters. We ain't shit. Our species is fucking stupid. Even though we are the most interesting species on this planet, we're awful, and we kind of deserve to go extinct. So like, I ain't all patriotic and gung-ho and super invested in the future of our species. So that's why I'm like always kind of cringing at these like revolutionary sentiments of like, yes, we will have a strong revolutionary society that will come along. We'll get rid of these vices and people will be all working together in solidarity towards some nebulous bullshit concept of a great prosperous future of what exactly? Like, what are these people going to be doing in this utopian society once we get rid of all these distractions? Oh, even though these distractions are one of the only things that really make life enjoyable a lot of the time. It's like, what are we doing? Are we just going to be a bunch of just like overly self-serious like worker drones and stuff in some utopian socialist society, just being very stoic and serious and very adult all the time, and only doing adult activities and not wasting our time with distractions and just being constantly just like, oh yes, I'm studying the literature of the Bolshevik Revolution. That is how I occupy my time, reading very sophisticated literary texts. And then when I don't do that, I do fucking whittling. I whittle wood. Yes, I like to make very complex wood figurines with my whittling knife. That is what I do. I'm a very sophisticated and serious adult. And then when I'm not doing that, I go to the coffee shop. The alcohol-free coffee shop, because you do not imbibe in those substances. Only coffee is permitted in the socialist utopia, and we sit around drinking coffee, wearing fancy suits that we tailored ourselves with all our spare time when we're not wasting them with video games. We tailor suits and whittle tools and read history, and then we go to the coffee shop and talk about like Marxist-Leninist theory with one another. And then we're very serious and professional, and then we go fucking work at the factory or something. But like the factory that at least pays you decently. So I guess that's a good thing. At least you get proper benefits in the utopian society. So you get paid a decent minimum wage and healthcare coverage. And that's our lives. We're very serious. We're very adult and professional. We don't engage in childish distractions and shit. I don't know. God. You know, I always say that my videos are all over the place, but this might be the record for the most fucking disjointed fucking bullshit video I've done ever on this channel. Wow, yeah, I covered a lot in this video. That was... But the question is, at the end of all this, did I make a cogent point? I don't even know anymore. I think that I guess my cogent point is, yeah, I should probably play a little bit less video games and draw a bit more. That's the point after this whole half an hour of rambling. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't think I have really anything else to say. Hopefully that was entertaining to watch. I guess. Maybe interesting. Maybe it was just stupid. I don't know. Like I said, it was all over the place. I can definitely say that. Hopefully it wasn't that stupid. But whatever. Who cares? Thanks for watching. Yep, I'll take this as a cue right now. I'm gonna go off and draw a bit. I'm gonna go off and draw a bit, and then I'm going to, at some point, tire myself out and probably waste some time playing video games. This time, at least, I'm going to play online with one of my friends. So at least I'm going to do a little bit of socializing with that. But yes, I will be productive. I will choose not to waste an excessive amount of time playing video games for the next like 2 or so hours. All right, thanks for watching. Whoever fucking watched this, if anybody. All right, bye bye.